there, everyone. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report, or I guess this morning's edition, depending on how you look at it. Uh, Welcome to the show, of course. I am your sometimes humble host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live from NGC Studios, and it is midnight here on the East Coast, so technically, happy Friday to you all. Sorry, I have not done a show in a long time as far as like Thursday shows go. Um, Usually, I try and do like a show twice per week. I've been doing the Saturday show, but as far as like the Monday and Thursday show, I haven't been too consistent, mainly because for the past few weeks I've been busy with finals as I'm a college student, and I just haven't had time to do a show during the week as I normally do. But finals are now over, and I think I did pretty well. Um, so yeah, I'm doing a kind of a short stream tonight. Um, this one won't be a full episode as far as like, you know, really having guests or like a total structure, but I did want to put something out for you quickly. So, I have a lot of new subscribers to the channel, which of course I'm very thankful for. I really appreciate each and every one of you who has subscribed. Um, but I want to make things clear. I am not just another Owen Benjamin clips channel. Um, I do not exclusively focus on Owen, although it may seem like that from the content on this channel for the last year. Um, I do other content and commentary, mostly political stuff. I cover news, politics, the Trump White House, some comedy and entertainment, etc. And a lot of people who listen to the audio podcast know this, and a lot of people who are regular listeners to the show also know this. So I've been getting a lot of questions as to why I've been focusing on Owen for so long. And I've kind of answered this before, but I want to go over it again because this story just has so many layers to it that it needs to be told again, and I just want to share my point of view, at least from what happened. So, as I explained in a previous video, I discovered the unbearables after the 2016 election. I was looking for an outlet of folks to who were into creating conservative content, and I found Owen on the JRE Experience's third one. Thought he was decent at the time. Boy, was I wrong in hindsight. And one thing I want to make clear, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of his comedy, but I like the fact that there was a creative community kind of around him. So I joined one of the Discords, which is now defunct, ran by my good friend, the artist formerly known as Cannabear. And through Cannabear, I met the DZ, or the members that would make up the DZ eventually, and I met and one of the individuals in the DZ was John Neary, or Near Eye as he likes to be called. I really took a liking to John. He seemed and still is a genuinely kind man and a man of honor and a man of God. So he and I got to know each other really well for the month I was in the Bears. And I also got to know Brian Eskew, um, who is also a man of honor. Uh, he kind of has a dark sense of humor like me, but he's a good guy. Um, Same with Gabe and basically the entire DZ. So there was this other cat named Eric Nimmer, and to be honest, when I first joined the Bears, there was something always off to me about Nimmer. Maybe it was the fact that several of the Bears from the get go, when I joined the Discord, were all like telling me that I needed to pitch in for Eric's special. So I looked I looked at some of his material, and I didn't think he was funny. And some of the Bears were like, "Well, why don't you think Nimmer's funny?" Like some of them were really upset that I didn't think Nimmer was funny. Um, and I'm just kind of like, "Well, he just isn't." So, meanwhile, I've been tuning into Neary's morning show at that point, and John does make me laugh, and John's clever. So then at some point in April, we just did a stream about this on 420. John uh, basically is on one of our DZ streams, or we used to call them like Island Bear streams, or it was off of Brian's main channel, and we would always do like um, 5 or 6 hour hangouts where we would just chat and whatnot. So John comes in, and everyone's talking about how you know Nimmer's not really funny, and at one point John goes, "Well, let's get Nimmer in here," and so we did. And I was in that hangout for part of it, but then I had to go. I think my connection like crashed or something. But long story short, as we replayed for you in on the 420 stream that I did this past weekend, Neri basically destroyed Nimmer in a roast battle. And afterwards, John tried to make amends with Nimmer. They were supposedly cool with each other. But some of the Bears, started like calling John racist, and saying that he was like abusive abusive of women, which is a real kicker because for those of you who don't know, uh, Nerai is married to an actual African woman. And we're not talking like an African American, we're talking like an actual African woman. And she's just a sweetheart, and she's good for John, too. Um, so for for the Bears to go all leftist like that and basically do the whole social justice thing of, oh, well, you're being racist towards Nimmer when Nimmer clearly got his ass handed to him in a roast battle. That's what fucking happened. Um, it just got ridiculous. And there was other. I guess this brought up other shit that had happened like before I joined, like the fact that Nimmer was sexually harassing other, uh, female bears, like at shows and also in the Discord. So, and then he also had claimed to be a Marine, but there were inconsistencies about his story, so people started questioning that. So, basically, we went to a subset of bears kind of. I wouldn't really say we went into war with Nimmer, but we were just trying to basically warn Owen, at least I was, that, hey, dude, you might want to check out, you might actually want to do some background checking into Nimmer because he's kind of a bad dude. And basically, Owen started to lose his mind, kind of. And basically, we left because Owen had decided, that we didn't get kicked out, but it was clear that we weren't wanted there anymore. So we left, and we started doing our own things. Didn't really pay attention to Owen that much at this point. Now, as far as me personally, I had, basically told everyone in the Bears that I was going to, leave along with those guys. I welcomed them to, watch my channel and whatnot. Said, you guys are more than welcome to come over and watch me as well. The more I have, the merrier. Like if you want to watch me, great. If you don't want to watch me, that's cool too. Whatever. I don't really care. So from about April/May when we left, really towards like December, we were all doing our own thing. If you look at my channel history and if you look at my podcast feed for the Whitfield Report, a lot of those shows were all primarily election shows because the midterms were coming up, especially here in Florida. That was a big deal, and thank God Ron DeSantis is our governor. Thank God. But then in December, and the other thing I want to point out is around like October or September, sometime around there, that was when Owen had started ranting about the moon and saying that we never went. And so I would get like periodic comments in my live chats like, dude, like, do you know that Owen is, now ranting about the moon? And at the time, I was kind of like, yeah, silly Owen, But like, if he had just been ranting about the moon, and that was that, I really wouldn't care. I don't think any of us would. And that's one of the main points that I want to drive home here. I don't think any of us would really care. But then on stream shortly after Christmas, I think it was either like on Christmas or after Christmas. Um, Owen accused Brian of basically trying to poison Owen's kids with, get this, penis-shaped gummies. Now, this despite the fact that Owen had opened these same gummies a few months earlier on stream and actually made a comment about how hilarious it was. And then he made some funny quip about how, like, I can't give these to Walter. We were already gone by that time. So, we knew that he had opened them, but like that was it. So, oh hey, speaking of Johnny/Brian, welcome to the chat, my friend. Yeah. Yeah. Brian brings up a good point too. He didn't send shit to Owen, so none of us sent gummies or anything to Owen during that time. Like I said, we went off and did our own thing completely once we basically left. We had heard about him opening the gummies, I think, but that was it. So then Owen accuses Brian of poisoning his kids, which, by the way, I have a clip of this too, ladies and gentlemen. I've played this a few times, but it's worth playing again.
I saw people coming at Eric like that, and this is a war vet who's missing all his teeth from fucking shrapnel, who's battling cancer, crushes on stage, had my back when a lot of motherfuckers didn't.
Okay, so I want to point something out here that, as I said at the very beginning of the stream, this was the entire reason why the Unbearable Wars started, was because Owen was defending Eric Nimmer, who, was claiming he was a war vet, but also, he really wasn't, as Chuck Boris, shout out to Chuck, I know you're in the chat, buddy. Chuck exposed that didn't happen, but also, as I mentioned, Nimmer was also harassing multiple lady bears. Multiple times. And this was one of those tweets. If you're watching on the video, you can obviously see that. If you're listening on audio, one of Nimmer's tweets, this was to one of the, I believe this was to Canna, referring to Canna's girlfriend at the time. Yeah, this was 11 months ago. I should stretch her before. I should stretch her before I stretch her. I believe in equality. Shout out to Canada. So between Near being accused of being a racist and other stuff, and then Nimmer running around doing stuff like this, this was why we left the frickin' Bears. So, you know, like I said, we left, and then we pretty much did our own thing. And I basically, from after we left, um, be, because because you guys are asking specifically why I've been interested in coming to this story, I'm just explaining my personal timeline. So basically, we left. Um, I kind of returned. I never left American Watchmen, but I went back to writing for American Watchmen, and basically covered election stuff on the podcast up until the whole framing incident happened, which we'll get to in a sec. But anyway, yeah, so this whole thing started because of Nimmer initially.
Is a really good person. And then they go on my Vimeo page and start slandering Eric that he makes women uncomfortable in Chicago. I was with him the whole time in Chicago. That motherfucker doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. He makes everyone feel very, very comfortable. These people that now hate Eric, they saw a guy killing on stage. They saw a guy, they probably in the back of their head, they're like, that big black cock of his, I bet he's got a fucking hammer on him. Unlike my little fucking nothing cock. And, the way I revere Eric, the way I give Eric attention, the way Eric is rising quickly and people really like Eric. And so then they just get angry. DZ is trying to troll the super chats.
Okay, so I do want to point out here before we go on. Even when Eric was with Owen, Eric was a nobody, and Eric was a nobody in the comedy scene. Like, I seriously know some opening acts here in Florida, in my area, who have bigger comedy followings than Nimmer ever did. And they were genuinely funny, too. But I digress. So, like I said, we left because of the Nimmer incident. Figured we would let Owen do his own thing. During that time, I don't know what Owen was doing during the midterms. Well, actually, I do. See, here's the other thing. I'm so sick of people calling Owen a political commentator because he never talks current events. Never. Not once during the midterms do I remember him talking about the midterms at all. Now, if that's not his show style, that would be fine. But, if you're going to do political commentary, you might want to cover, like, actual, news. Instead, what was Owen talking about for the vast majority of the midterms? That was when he went off about the moon landing for some weird reason. And at the time I was kind of like, that's weird, but, that's Owen. And, oh well, like I said, if he had just stuck to the crazy moon landing conspiracy, I don't think any of us would have cared. So then, as I said, fast forward to Christmas, after, I think it was either like right before or right after Christmas. This was when Owen decided to shout Brian's name out. along with some other people.
They can spend the money they want. I mean, one of those guys, I'm pretty sure, tried to poison my son. So I don't take that very. I mean, these people are so evil and sick. It's I can't believe they're trolling. Because there's not a lot you can do with the criminal system. Unfortunately, it's all good. We know who they are, and if they ever did anything again, maybe I should just say all their names, just see what anyone says. I'm not saying anything, but if I'm just like, hey, I'm not going to say what to do to them, but that would be insane. Because someone would do some shit, so I'm not going to do that. Because that could really escalate things. Ryan Eskew, yeah, that's the guy. That's one of the guys that send my kid poison candy. That's his name. Real sick puppy. Smart, deleted all the proof. So, and then you realize how little control you have. It's attempted murder. Is he going to jail? No, there's nothing I can do.
Okay, so this is another thing I want to point out here, because we have a couple of screenshots of DMs. So Owen accused Brian of poisoning, of attempting to poison his kids. And then this moron asshat, base Texan, God, I fucking hate that dude. He sent out a tweet. This isn't this is one of them, but he tweeted to one of us, I can't remember who, but he said, you should have listened better also. You and your little fag friends were threatening to send poison. No one actually said you did, even though Owen just said in that clip that one of us did. So Bass says, no one said you actually did it, which was not true. Owen did, you moron. But the threat alone is a criminal act. Again, there was never a threat. Conspiring with others, then actually sending something is criminal. So blah blah blah. So there's another tweet. So this is how I got tied up into this. Because I was merely associated with the danger zone, I got put on a list along with 40 other Twitter handles, and some were inactive Twitter handles too. I actually believe, Amethyst, that you were named on that list as well on the Twitter handle. Basically, Base put together this moronic list of X-Bears and said that we were all part of a big conspiracy to basically try and poison Owen's kids. And I don't know about you, but when my name is like on a list, and there were also implications that from Based and other people that something needed to be done. Now, when you have that something needed to be done about us. Now, the way Based's psychosis is, I honestly took making that list on Twitter as a threat. Kind of like a hit list. And, Owen in the in the Owen. Well, you'll see here in a sec. You'll hear this from Owen personally, because he has people who are willing to take care of stuff for him. This is how crazy the cult has become. The quote unquote not a cult has become.
That's the thing. There's like once you like involve law enforcement, if you can't do anything, you can't do anything. So I just check my mail now, and we have guns everywhere, and you just keep going on.
Okay, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I suspect the reason why Owen said back then that he couldn't get the cops involved was because he never reported this to the cops. I don't think. Gabe in the chat goes, Owen wins the big tits contest. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, nah, he doesn't. I mean, he wins the man boobs contest, but man boobs are not sexy. They're not. Don't at me, as the cool kids say. Oh, there should be a movie or a Netflix documentary about the whole gummy debacle. They should hire Danny DeVito to play Owen, just because he's short. It would ruffle Owen's feathers. Dapper, I don't know if you're I don't know if you're new to the channel, but welcome. God bless you. Tell you what, as long as you can get Matthew McConaughey, or Titus Welliver to play me, I'm cool with either one. We're I'll sign off on helping produce that movie. But getting back to the story. So Owen basically spelled out Brian and Gabe's name, as you'll hear in a sec.
They deserve to go to jail. They deserve to have a lot more than go to jail. And
oh, right. Like I just said, the cops can't do anything. So Owen says these guys deserve a lot more than just jail. Okay, that was that's I read that as a threat.
I mean, they've been trolling me for months now, and they just kept escalating until they sent poison to my house. And they were trying to kill me. Once Brian Eskew did that, and
it's my boy, Brian Eskew. High five. Oh wait, this isn't. That's right. That wasn't the time for high fives. Sorry.
That's how little repercussions I could actually do. Yeah, he threatened many people. He's sick. He's gonna kill somebody. Brian Eskew. That's exactly right, Kyle. Their names are.
Sure. Brian's gonna kill people. Okay, who did Brian threaten exactly before this? Who? No one I know. Oh God, Ray Liotta as John Neroy would be perfect. And if he were like 40 or 50, if he were 40 or 50 years younger, in his Godfather days, well, there's only, well, you know who I'm talking about. The one and only Al Pacino would be a good casting for Near. But anyway, so yeah.
Brian Eskew. That is their names. These are people that tried to poison my son Walter. That's who they are.
Okay, so Based said that people only made threats, but Owen just said that John that Brian tried to poison Owen's kids. Gotcha.
And so, if anything happens, they did it. Oh, and they're truly disgusting people. If that what you say is true, of course it's true. I opened the package on a stream, guys. Candy.
Okay, so then this clip that we're watching now, I'm explaining all this, by the way, for people who are listening to this on iTunes later, which is why I'm doing this entire podcast, because the audio podcast subscribers want to know why I'm talking about Owen so much.
Eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, I wish you would eat a bag of dicks, Owen. Actually, now I actually do wish you would. And you know, but these were the gummies that he got in you know, he got them sometime after we left.
American as fuck. Gummy candies, bag of dicks. Dicksbymail.com. Whoever sent me this is pretty hilarious. But apparently this is a... Oh, dude, these are actual dick shapes. I was going to say I'm going to give this to Walter, but I can't even give it to Walter. I'm not going to have him eat, like, dick-shaped candy. Yeah, there were little penises. They made little penises because this guy makes weed candy. That's what he does. That's what Brian Eskew does, Eskew. He makes marijuana candy, and he sent me penis candy, and apparently they were poison. No, Josh is not a bear. Josh.
Oh, okay. This loser is well, nah. I'll kind of renege on this because he's kind of redeemed himself in the last couple weeks. Kind of, but not really. This is Kyle Kavanaugh, who is not related to my beer drinking brother, Brett Kavanaugh, the Honorable Supreme Court Justice. This is the guy who initially told Owen, I guess, that Brian was the one who sent the gummy dicks. Now, he has since cleaned up his story a bit, but we'll get to that a bit later.
The danger zone and all their fucking nonsense. So, and Josh, the term you're looking for is directly responsible. And as you guys have been threatening people and shit, yeah, I have no regrets. You know, maybe if you guys fucked off for a week or two, you know, just acted like adults and walked away, I would...
Hey, moron! Hey, moron! Yeah, moron, I'm talking to you, to quote, Undoomed. Hey, moron! Fucking moron! We did walk away. For 8 months. Roughly. And, then The only reason we came back was because Owen accused Brian of trying to poison his kids. That's why we're back. Okay, now here's the other thing. Remember that list I told you about earlier? Okay? There were, I get put on Twitter lists all the time, but, by the left, but for quote-unquote conservatives to put me on a list and falsely accuse me of being part of something, of being a murder conspiracy, when they know it's not true, is really disheartening. Also, some of these bears were also friends with me on Facebook at the time. They're not anymore. But these people, some of them at least, should have known that none of us would have poisoned Owen's kids or even tried. Some of them did, and they just went along with this whole thing anyway. That's what pissed me off. The other thing that pissed me off personally was back in December of last year was also when I started to get monetization for my podcast, for the audio podcast. And I guess some of these bears were tweeting at Anchor and saying stuff that, like, my podcast needed to get demonetized because I was threatening yada yada yada. So yeah, not only do you accuse friends of mine of trying to poison kids who, quite honestly, we didn't. How to put this? I don't want to say that we don't care about Owen's kids, but in all honesty, we don't. Like, we don't care about them in a negative way, but we don't care about them in, like, a positive way either. They're Owen's kids. And, like, even when I was a bear, Owen's kids were just like, as I said before, the reason why I joined the Bears wasn't so much even because of Owen or Nim or any of that. I liked the group dynamic at the time when I joined. I thought Brian and Gabe and Josh and Amethyst and Canna and basically everyone who is part of Sam's Savages now. I basically and Chuck, of course. Basically, all those guys were cool. And I wanted to hang out with those guys. And, at the time, when we were a bear, if Owen succeeded, that would have been awesome. But then he did this shit, and fucking. Uh, oh, Fate of Kings is in the house. Well, welcome, welcome, sir. Um, where to where do I even continue? My my outrage is still strong here. So for those of you basically who have been asking me why I haven't really covered Trumpian politics that much or current events lately, believe me, I would fucking like to get back to talking about Trump and the wall and the 2020 election, and believe me, at some point I'm going to. But for those of you who are watching and or listening, can you guys kind of start to understand why the Owen thing has consumed the podcast for the last year? I'm part of this whole quote unquote conspiracy because I'm DZ. And even though I wasn't named on the stream, I was named in on Twitter. I had bears trying to go after my advertising, which didn't happen. They did leave some like amusing comments on like the iTunes review page for this podcast. Like, this guy doesn't have a voice for radio, or like this guy is like he speaks really slow and he's not articulate at all. Kind of like your cult leader who does a 6-hour podcast. But so another reason why I've been covering the Owen thing so much is because Owen has officially become, he hasn't proclaimed it yet, but in everything but self-proclamation, Owen has pretty much become the alt-right's comedy hack. Yes, Owen went full alt-right. If you've been paying attention to Owen's streams, he's constantly blaming the Jews for everything. And dare I say that I know the alt-right as a whole is pretty bad, but he's also pretty extreme in the sense that Owen has also said that he wants to decide when people live and when people die, and he's been talking about killing people a lot. But this clip in particular from about like 3 or 4 months ago was the one that really made me nervous about Owen. And this is when I really decided that I would continue commenting on Owen and really, keeping on him, because this man is now legitimately dangerous. Okay? When the left describes the alt-right and says that they're a dangerous force, and then they try and paint all of conservatism as being alt-right, which we're not, this is the if the left wanted a poster boy for like their boogeyman, Owen is their Owen is their boogeyman that they've been looking for to try and demonize us all.
Open borders are not happening in my chat. This is the last time I ever do open chat. I've been catching some of the people, and not only do I not want an open chat, I don't want anyone ever coming into my country ever again, and I want to start weeding out the weak.
So Owen wants to start weeding out the weak. Very Hitlerian of you, Owen. It gets better, though.
So when people go, oh my God, what are you scared of? I'm not scared of shit. I'm not scared to the point where I'm like, who needs to die? Scared? Oh, dude. All right, let's start talking about some shit. No more. Guys, I'm never, ever doing open chat again. And I know some people are like, hey, thanks for open. No. Someone just called my wife a name. I can't kill the person. They're just a little, no. Out, gone, never again. You guys are weeds. But Big Bear, you won't have as many.
So let me go back and replay this once again. I really want people to hear this part of it again. This is why I'm still fucking focused on Owen.
All right, let's start talking about some shit. So when people go, oh my God, what are you scared of? I'm not scared of shit. I'm not scared to the point where I'm like, who needs to die? Scared? Oh, dude. All right.
Yep. I'm not scared to the point where I'm like, who needs to die? Now, who does that remind you of? Does it remind you of the Tea Party? Of conservatives? Of libertarians? Or does it remind you of the left? Does it remind you of Antifa? Does it remind you of the communists? Or the Nazis? Or the alt-right? Which the alt-right is pretty much the same thing as the far left when they're that extreme. And I've played this one clip before, and I've gotten reactions to Owen's just being dramatic. Owen, he didn't mean that people literally need to die. No, he did.
Start talking about some shit. No more. Guys, I'm never, ever doing open chat again. And I know some people are like, hey, thanks for open. No. Someone just called my wife a name. I can't kill the person. They're just a little, no. Out, gone, never again. You guys are weeds.
He wants to kill someone because they simply called his wife a name. Which, by the way, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But, I can understand being pissed if someone calls your wife or girlfriend a name. That's understandable. I don't understand or justify or condone killing a guy because they called your wife a name. You might want to smack them or, punch them or something. I can understand that, but to kill the person, this dude has fucking anger issues. Uh, yeah, Gabe. Well, I guess Gabe just silenced, just put himself on the list again. Yeah. Owen is okay. Oh, this is a good one. Let me read that to you again. Oh, and he's using Scientology like scare tactic against the DZ and anyone who doesn't agree with him. It's called yep, Amethyst. You're spot on the money, honey. That alliterated, so that's why I used it. Mm-mm.
But Big Bear, you won't have as many people watching. Good. Good. This isn't for everybody. Frankly, idiots don't know how to handle it properly. Did he just call for violence? Oh my God. Not yet, but I will. At some point, there will be a call to violence. There always is. There always is. For all of history, all time, there's always a tipping point when violence is necessary. Not yet, but it will be. So, you might want to gear up.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's recap so far, shall we? Owen accuses Brian and Gabe of trying to poison his kids with gummies. Base Texan accuses me and 40 other people of being part of the conspiracy also. And there are several clips just like this one where Owen says that the weak need to be rooted out and die. Yeah, and somehow there are people who still think that this guy is a conservative. This guy, I've said it before, but I'll say it again. This dude, Owen, could very well be a leftist plant by like Antifa or by the far left. I don't know that he is. I'm not saying for sure that he is. But the thought has crossed my mind more than once because, like, even back, like, in 2012, the left was always saying, they've always said that, like, people like Rush Limbaugh and, and Hannity and, like, basically anyone who is mildly, conservative or mildly libertarian is basically like a Nazi, right? The left has been saying about conservatives for the past 30 years. So, why not get a comedian to LARP in your circles, to LARP in the conservative circle, and then basically turn into the stereotype that you want so that you can blame conservatives. Like I guarantee you that if the third Charlottesville happens again, this is my theory. If a third Charlottesville does happen, which I hope to God it doesn't, but they're gonna it'll probably involve one of the stupid bears that is now around. And they'll probably implicate Owen. And somehow, and I'll be able to say we warned you. So for me personally, this is not just about the DZ. I'm focused on Owen because Owen's whole bear ideology. Owen's whole thing of, creating a cult of personality and creating like a whole bear hierarchy and whatnot. It is so far removed from the, and I know that to some of you that what I'm about to say is going to sound like really, kind of like boomer conservative-ish and whatnot, but I don't care. What Owen is proposing is so far removed from what conservatism is, from what the original ideals of the founding fathers in the United States of America were, from what the Declaration of Independence was, and from what the idea of America in itself is. It's it's closer to Soviet bullshit than America bullshit, or than America stuff. So that's I'm just riled up. So here's another thing I want to bring to your guys' attention. Let me pull this up. I know that Johnny that Brian made a video about this on his John Arcade channel, but I want to go over this again. Jim Hoft of Gateway Pundit, who I usually respect, wrote an article about Owen losing his PayPal account. Now, in Jim Hoft's defense, it's obvious that Jim hasn't been paying attention to Owen for the last year and a half, or anything that he's been doing, like, at all. Because Gateway Pundit, to his credit, and especially to one of Jim Hoft's contributors, Lucien Wintrich, who I had on, Gateway Pundit, Lucien Wintrich, they've actually all been pretty outspoken about, like, not of condemning the alt-right as well, which is pretty good. But this was not a, to Jim Hoft, you might want to be paying more attention to Owen. So this was an article that Jim wrote. Let me pull this up on the screen. Big tech tyranny. PayPal deletes conservative comedian Owen Benjamin's accounts. Okay. Two things wrong with that headline. A, Owen is far from a conservative. And B, any comedy that Owen has been doing has been replaced by the stark raving lunacy of, of Jews, the moon, and saying that people need to die. On Tuesday, PayPal deleted conservative comedian Owen Benjamin's account. Let's see. Owen is the latest conservative who is being punished by the tech giants for his political beliefs. No. He's being punished for, like, I don't know, doxing people, threatening people, making false accusations, all of which is actually against PayPal's policy. Okay. So, then there's a screenshot from Owen. Okay, now here's where a lot of kind of like, big time conservative journalists focus with Owen. They always bring this story up. In 2017, UConn canceled a gig by Benjamin when he challenged putting trans-identified children as young as 8 on hormone blockers. Okay, Jim. Jim. Okay, that was a long time ago, buddy. I honestly like you. I do. Gateway Pundit is a sharp blog. But the fact that you're still bringing up that point as like a reference for Owen Benjamin tells me that you have not been paying attention to Owen Benjamin. Because he has dug himself into quite the hole. You know, like, as I just said, he's pretty much gone full alt-right. So, and considering that you've condemned the alt-right, I don't think that's good. I don't think you want to be defending this guy. On Tuesday, he was blocked by PayPal. It will all be us one day. Originally, I might. Okay. Okay, let me make, a couple things clear. I know that, big tech companies aren't friendly to conservatives necessarily. But, again, this is not a case of, PayPal censoring Owen for quote unquote, more conservative views. This is, PayPal, dare I say it, and I know this is going to be unpopular even with some of my subscribers. PayPal, in my mind, did the right thing here. Because when Owen is, threatening people and, doxing people and whatnot, and other criminal activity, do you really want people, making money with PayPal? Because I mean, if you want, if you want an argument for conservatives or alternative media figures being banned by PayPal and other big media platforms is actually valid, let's discuss Alex Jones. Let's discuss Laura Loomer. Let's, there are other names that I could list of actual conservatives, of actual voices in the liberty movement. Owen's not one of them. Owen is not a conservative. Or, how about this, ladies and gentlemen? How about Roseanne Barr, who has been treated horribly, for defending, Israel against, radical Muslim sympathizer Valerie Jarrett. She got blacklisted, and I know that Roseanne isn't even a full blown conservative, but she's more of a voice for liberty, and she's actually more pro Trump than Owen is at this point. So I saw this on Easter. I could not. I had to replay this 5 times. It's hilarious. Again, this is from Johnny Arcade's channel. So, Roseanne calls Owen a fag on Easter. Now, when I first saw this, I thought that, it was one of the things Owen, Roseanne, implied something about Owen. Nope. This is genius right here. So.
Fuck that fag Owen Benjamin talking about growing carrots and women aren't funny, bitch. I wish you could think as far ahead as me. I'm taking my vehicle to go get me some smokes. Happy Easter.
Holy shit. I fucking love you, Roseanne. I fucking love you.
Brian, you have a fucking great voice for radio, by the way. You need to do more commentary. We need to get you like an anchor account. We need to get you like an actual podcast or something. Your radio voice is killer, by the way. I just wanted to play that again, real quick. You want to, people in the chat are talking about being whimsical. This makes me whimsical. I'm whimsical as fuck right now because of this.
Look it. There's the Armageddon vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck that fag Owen Benjamin talking about growing carrots and women aren't funny, bitch. I wish you could think as far ahead as me. I'm taking my vehicle to go get me some smokes. Happy Easter.
Oh. Oh. You know, Roseanne actually reminds me of one of my neighbors down here. One of my neighbor's wives who, she says the same thing, like, all the time. Whenever she's, like, I see her, she's in our car on the weekends, and she always says something like, "Hey, Sammy, I'm going down to the convenience store to grab some smokes." It's funny. Oh, God bless you, Roseanne Barr. Like, Roseanne is crazy. There's no denying that she is a little crazy. But unlike Ellen, she's actually made her, well, you know, the big difference between her and Ellen is, well, where the fuck do I even start? She's fucking Roseanne. She you know, she had a show on one of the most famous sitcoms of all time, named after her, Roseanne, which is objectively funny. Like, even people on the left, I know, still love the original Roseanne series. But yeah, I mean, she's legit. She busted her ass in comedy. Owen was an extra in movies, and then he got like a supporting cast role on Sullivan, on this show called Sullivan and Sons. The sad thing about that is, like, Owen is more famous than that show now, but he's like not famous for the right reasons at all. Yeah. Owen's response to Roseanne was pretty funny. By the way, not that Johnny Arcade needs it, because you know, he has more he has more subscribers than I do. Okay, what is? Oh, okay. Sorry. Roseanne's response, I mean, Owen's response to Roseanne is hilarious. I did not get the chance to download this video. Hang on. But, I mean, they're all of his videos are great. Like, I could play any one of these and they would be great. So, let's see. Okay, Owen responds to Roseanne calling him a fag. Okay, even even you know, Owen for being like a tough guy. This is the other thing. Like Owen pretends to be a tough guy, but like even he is really sheepish when it comes to like when the big people call him out on his stuff.
Dude, Roseanne Barr called me a fag yesterday. I was surprised she was alive. I was,
I
in good
know,
spirits.
dude. I
But a
know,
lot
dude.
of people would
It
be
was
like,
fucking hilarious.
a really famous comedian calls you a fag. That must bum you out. No, see, the way I see life is a member of a tribe of small hats who has severe brain damage, by the way.
Jews.
By fact, who married Tom Arnold and was disgraced by a tweet, which I defended her, by the way. But her calling me a fag couldn't be better. It's like that is the best compliment because a literal crazy person.
Owen. Breaking news for you, buddy. You are a legit crazy person. You are a legit crazy person. I mean, granted, Roseanne is crazy, but that's kind of the pot calling. That's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, though. Okay. Okay.
Who's, pro baby murder. All about just being gross, Tom Arnold's dick. The fact she looks at me and says, fag, I'm like, yes! And the fact that she isn't dead, I thought was a win because I still think she's cool. Whether she calls me a fag or not, I don't care. All right.
Nah. I doubt Owen actually thinks that Roseanne is cool. He's probably like, God, she's a Jew. Like he probably spurred out and like was like, I want to kill that bitch or something like that. But then Amy probably said, Amy, his wife, not our Amy or Amy. Amy's wife probably like said something along the lines of, you probably shouldn't spurg out about Roseanne or something because she's got like she's popular. So this is actually worth replaying again too.
Dude, Roseanne Barr called me a fag yesterday.
I know, dude. It was fucking hilarious. It was one of the best things I've seen.
I was surprised she was alive. I was, in good spirits. But a lot of people would be like, a really famous comedian calls you a fag. That must bum you out. No, see, the way I see life is a member of a tribe of small hats who has severe brain damage, by the way, fact, who married.
You have legit brain damage, sir, and legit liver damage too. I'm sure of that. Like, dude, your poor liver. I mean, I know that I know that you've laid off, and good for you, but my God.
Married Tom Arnold and was disgraced by a tweet, which I defended her, by the way. But her calling me a fag couldn't be better. It's like that is the best compliment.
It couldn't be better because it couldn't be more true. I actually agree with you on this, Owen, but not for the reason you think. You're absolutely right that it couldn't be better. by the way, Fate of Kings, feel free to clip any of this for the intro, and I'll send you some other stuff too. But I'm on a roll tonight, if I do say so myself. Figuratively this time, not literally. Oh well, let's be serious. I'm literally always on a roll because that's how I get around.
Because a literal crazy person who's, pro baby murder, all about just being gross, Tom Arnold's dick.
Okay, here's the other thing, Owen. This is something I want to bring up too. Like, Owen says that he's a big part of the pro-life movement. And I've never heard him, like, be, like, pro-abortion. But here's the thing: when you're a ranting anti-Semite, which you are, Owen, and when you're saying stuff like I want to decide who lives and who dies, well, that's the same justification that the left uses for their pro-abortion stance. So, you're not really a pro-life warrior either, Owen. Hate to break it to you. Basically, all of your other stuff that you've done over these past months have made me question as to whether or not you're pro-life, or whether you're even a Christian. Honestly.
The fact she looks at me and says, fag, I'm like, yes! And the fact that...
Wait. So you're actually agreeing with the Roseanne. You're saying, yes! Yes, I am a homosexual. Yes, I am a fag. Good for you, Owen. Good for you embracing your true sexuality, man. I love it. Well, Sam, you didn't really do that. Bruh, I'm a bear. How dare you insult Big Bear? Your hat is stupid. You're crippled. Yeah, I realized after this stream my comment section is going to probably look like a garbage heap, like all of my other vids on Owen is. But you know what? Like I said, I'm on a roll tonight. And every time I do one of these videos on Owen, and you bears keep watching, I just get more views and more subs. I become all the more powerful. Even if it's like negative interaction, it's still interaction, which is good. So, yeah. Nothing is stopping me from getting off the Owen train anytime soon. Like I said, I'm going to, get back to covering Trump and whatnot. I honestly don't want to focus on Owen. But like I said, Owen's a threat to the conservative movement right now, so that's why the DZ and I have been exposing him. But maybe I'll have Johnny Arcade on. Well, Brian. Maybe I'll have Brian and the DZ on this weekend to talk about Trump and the wall. and actual stuff. Oh. Okay. Okay. Now, remember I brought up that Kyle Kavanaugh guy earlier in the beginning of the stream? I said we would get to him, and I didn't forget about that either. So, remember how Owen said that Brian tried to, poison his kids on the stream? Well, Kyle Kavanaugh was the person who basically, I guess, made up that rumor and shared that with Owen. And he recently put up a video on his channel basically admitting to that. He decided to come clean and actually do the right thing, kind of. So, here is Kyle's video on the reality of the whole gummy thing, which, should exonerate Brian. But unfortunately, I mean, it has in the mind of the Bears or in the mind of Owen. But yeah. Oh, Kyle's going to tell the people, Brian. Kyle is going to tell the people right here and now on the Whitfield Report. Okay. This clip is aptly named Sometimes You Fuck Up. And I guess the audio actually starts at 3:15. Okay, one thing I want to say real quick, at least, Kyle has like 4K audio or HD audio or video, so that's good at least. And we'll fast forward. Okay, his mic wasn't working though, so make sure your stuff works in the beginning, dude.
Okay, so yeah, so I got drunk, called out Gabriel Shervo and Brian SQ over the poison gummy thing. Oh, how's that? Is that better? Oh, that should be a little bit better. Crank that. Okay, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, so, called them out, and apparently John Neri as well for that poison gummy thing and for the whole fiasco with this Nimmer thing. So I'm just officially stating that, to my knowledge, and I'm going to say likely true, is that Gabriel Shervo and Brian Eskew and John Neri, I did not send any poison candy to Owen, despite me drunkenly thinking that it was, and that's not an excuse, so I should stop saying that.
Hey, Kyle, there were 40 other people included in that conspiracy, buddy. What about us? What about Amethyst and Chuck and Sirio and Josh and Critter and MJF and Mersh and ROTC and like I said, there were 40 other people who I'm forgetting. I would love it. I know that we have screenshots of that tweet somewhere. I would love it if Kyle read off every single one of our names and said that we didn't do it. But yeah. So okay, I'll let him continue on. Continue speaking, Kyle. Sorry for interrupting.
but Owen should retract that. I'm not a particularly big fan of those guys, but you know.
Kyle, you will be. You will be a fan of me. But if you and I ever get a chance to talk, you will like me. It's inevitable. I'm a likable guy.
That shit isn't true, so that should be retracted. So I basically just wanted to say that. I would likely come back to streaming soon, but this was important to be said. Owen should retract and unname those Brian Eskew and Gabriel Shervo for sure. They didn't do it. We know it. We all know it. Didn't happen. Yeah, poison coming last. Yeah, I know that ship sailed months ago, but I'm saying it official. I'm fucking coming out. I'm admitting my wrong.
Whoever said that ship sailed, it was probably one of the bears. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. Nope, 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 nope. That ship never sailed. If it had sailed, I wouldn't have spent the last 8 months dedicating this show to fighting, on behalf of Brian and Gabe. By the way, not to brag on myself, but I was also one of the first media outlets, if not the first media. No, actually, I was the first media outlet. I was the first media outlet to actually have Brian on to talk about what actually happened. True that ROTC was the ones that played the clips exposing Nimmer, and it is true that Porcelain did the documentary on Owen, and believe me, those are all great things, and I'm not taking anything away from them. But as far as having Brian on on a show to actually tell his side of the story, I was the first one. And so look, I understand that people are a little bored of this whole Owen thing. I understand that you want me to get back to talking about Trump and the wall and 2020 predictions. I'm gonna get back there, folks, eventually. But Owen just continues to be a nuisance, and this is the one story in the conservative media that hardly anyone is talking about, and people need to be talking about it. So I will continue to cover it. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, Amethyst, this is true. Yep. Yeah, that Amethyst was saying it looks like this video is the most recent in Kyle's channel. Yeah, that's because it is.
If you're having sort of if you're gonna have any sort of integrity, you have to say when you fucked up. And I fucked up there. And either Owen fucked up or he's lying. In either case, he should retract.
He won't though, Kyle.
Because as we know, the number thing by all accounts seems to be right. And that needs to be. Yeah, I'm sure he won't, but I'm doing my part. I don't like the guys. I'm not a fan of you, Josh. Sorry to break it to you. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. Same with you, Jeff A. But
I was a little hurt because I was in Kyle's chat for this video too, and I never got a shout out. What do you have against cripples, Kyle? What do you have against me? Gabe in the chat goes, meh, I'm unmoved. Yeah, well, me too, Gabe. I'm unmoved as well.
It needs to be said. So, show this to Brian. Share it with Brian. Brian, share it. Owen, you should retract. The gummy thing was not them. I don't even know if the gummy thing was true.
It's not.
But that's that. And I hope that sets the record straight. So, yeah, Whitfield, that's fine. Like, well, not fine, but that is what it is. If you guys have,
Oh wait, he did shut me out.
um,
The okay. Fate of Kings. I guess you can clip that when, Kyle says Whitfield. That's fine. I am more than fine, Kyle. I'm fucking awesome. So, yeah, the Whitfield report. Next thing, Owen is going to be blaming cripples. Yeah, probably. Johnny Arcade says Bates Texan is my biggest enemy. Yeah, I hate to say it, Johnny, but you and I both. Yes, yeah. I, I could say a lot of things that I'm not going to about Base Texan. But, anyway, in all seriousness,
if you guys want to fucking address that, that's your guys. I'm just, I fucked up there. And I need to own up to that. So, once again, John, Gabe, and yeah, John, Gabe, and Brian didn't do it. So,
dude, you've got a good camera setup. I'll give you that, but like, you need to at least use earbuds or like, a microphone. Aren't you a musician? Shouldn't you have this stuff?
there. Oh, retracted. There. All right. I'm done. Thank you for your time. Guys who are from the DZ, please relay this message. And everyone else, just kind of, stop going to war over this. It's just...
Okay, that was boring. But in all seriousness, I will say to Kyle, thanks for finally coming out with the truth. You gained a little bit of respect from me. But where was that 8 months ago? Rob brings up a good point in chat too. He rather says they, not DZ in his comments, which he should have. So look, as I said before, to those of you who are not interested in the Owen thing, I get it. I get that you want me to return to, Trump politics and whatnot, which, believe me, I have plenty of things to say about the Mueller report. I have plenty of things to say about the wall. I have plenty of things to say about 2020. I've got plenty of things to say about politics just in general. But, I'm also going to keep covering this. Because, as far as news stories goes, as far as, like, citizen journalism goes, I've literally been in the field with this one. In a manner of speaking. So, I can't not cover this. When news stuff comes up. So, yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll cover base Texan, but I don't know. I don't want to get. I don't want to get involved with that ass hat. So. All right. Well, anyway, I guess. That was the show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour and 41 minutes long. So hey, I'm getting back to the normal length. And folks, for those listening to the podcast, I promise I'll try and keep these under 2 hours. The 6 hour, people were upset that I didn't upload the 421 to iTunes. Brian, in case you're wondering, people actually want to hear that in a podcast format. I'm sorry, that stream is 6 hours long. It's not going to fit. I'm sorry. But and I'm too lazy to break it up into multiple parts as well. But anyway, yeah, I will be updating the podcast more regularly again. So yep. Oh, there is more story, way more. And and trust me, this won't be the last time you'll hear from me. I'll be doing a few media appearances in the next few weeks on other shows. But I just figured I would do this for the podcast, folks. So I want to thank everyone who has watched live, and I want to thank everyone who has listened on the podcast. Thank you all very much. If you feel like donating or helping out, paypal.me/Whitfield Pod, because I'm still on PayPal. Patreon.com/Whitfield Report if you want to subscribe over there monthly. Anchor.fm/Whitfield Report if you want to subscribe to the podcast and contribute over there monthly. And streamlabs.com/The Whitfield Report if you want to super chat me over there. Alright, folks, from all of us here at NGC1, have a good night, God bless, and God save this great nation. Dangerines, I will see you in just a few minutes. So, thank you all for watching. Shout out to Amethyst for popping in the chat too. It was good seeing you again in the chat if you're still watching. So I would love to catch up with you, and yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. God bless, and God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy. Peace.